Hi everybody, it's Terry at Painted Garden Farm, and today I want to talk to you about growing sprouts. We're in the kitchen, I got my little apron on, and I'm going to tell you what I know and show you how to grow them, because that's what I do. I paint and I grow things. I only started growing sprouts recently within the past, probably last fall. My daughter sort of turned me on to it. She started doing it and she's like, "Do you grow sprouts? It's wicked easy and they're so cool and it's wicked delicious." And I was like, okay. So I looked up online. I found something to help me on my way for growing sprouts because I think she was doing it in a flower pot or something. And I found a way to do it in a mason jar, and I'm very happy about that because it's really clean and easy. So let me tell you a little bit about sprouts to begin with. They're very highly nutritious. They're kind of like a microgreen almost, but not really. You can sprout all kinds of, there's a whole bunch of different seeds. And just so you know, if I look over here, it's because I have a cheat sheet, so don't tell. But I just made notes so I wouldn't forget anything. So you can grow, you can sprout grains like amaranth and quinoa and what else? Buckwheat, bunch of other things. Oats too. You can sprout beans like mung beans, chickpeas, also known as garbanzo beans, and sometimes garbanzo is much more fun to say. You can sprout lentils. What else? You can also sprout things like arugula, red clover, alfalfa, radish, broccoli, mustard greens, things like that. They all have a little bit different flavor. If you like something spicy, throw in some radish. Red cabbage is sproutable. So if you want, a little kick to it, you do the radish, and probably the mustard has a little bit more flavor. My favorite is alfalfa sprouts, and I also like mung beans. Those are the ones that if you get chicken chow mein or you get, stir fries when you order out for takeout, the mung bean sprouts are those thick noodly looking ones in the lo mein. So I grow those often too. Alfalfa sprouts, I used to find them on the salad when I was a kid and I really liked them. My husband, not a fan, says it's like eating grass. Well, it is eating grass because alfalfa is hay after all, once it's grown. But it's just the sprouts, and I don't know, there's something about the texture of it that I like. So, without further ado, I want to let you know about the nutritional values of sprouts. They can help control blood sugar, cholesterol, so they're heart healthy food. They actually do have nutrients, like there's an extra protein in it once it's sprouted. There's what else? Magnesium, phosphorus, manganese, vitamin C and K. They're very nutrient dense for such little teeny things. And you do have to be careful to always make sure everything is clean and sterile that you use for making growing sprouts, because of the fact of food poisoning. Yeah, I know. Did I just kill it for you? But it's the same as lettuce. When there's been times that they had to recall all the romaine lettuce out of the grocery stores because it hadn't been properly cleaned and washed, and it was grown with a little too much natural fertilizer, and it gets E. coli, and that makes you sick. So, one reason I like using the mason jars is you get your mason jars, you can sterilize it. I wash mine in the dishwasher all the time, so it's as good as eating off a plate. If you're not going to get E. coli from your dishes, you're not going to get it from a mason jar. And you don't need any soil, and you don't need to add any fertilizer. If you buy them in the store, you don't know where they're coming from. So there, I think, is your greater potential to get E. coli from something. So if you do happen to buy them from the store, if you just can't be bothered with all this mess, but you do want the nutritional value of the sprouts, make sure that they're fresh. Check the date. Make sure they're not slimy. Make sure they're in a refrigerated section of the produce, and that you keep them refrigerated, get them home quickly, and keep them refrigerated at home. So, all that being said, I am going to begin with some mung beans, which I did not bring down here because I brought all my other stuff and I didn't bring my mung beans. And I'm going to first wash my hands because it's the kitchen and that's what you're supposed to do before you do stuff. So, get my hands washed really quick, but thoroughly. And I won't torture you by singing the alphabet, a twinkle, twinkle, little star. And, all right, clean and shiny. All right. So I'm going to start out by saying I don't know what brand of mung beans these are because I ordered them online and I put them in this plastic Tupperware container. And there were still some in the bag, and the bag I think is still on top of the refrigerator. Sorry, let me get back in the picture. The bag's still up the top of the fridge. I have to get a step stool and rummage around up there because, seriously, I can't see up there. And my husband puts other stuff up there, so it's mixed up with other things. So I currently have, this is alfalfa sprout seeds. Alfalfa seeds, and they're very, very, very tiny. Once my hands are dry all the way, I'll show you what they look like. They're so teeny. They're like chia seeds. I think you can actually sprout chia seeds too. Chia is edible, but there is a whole spoonful of teeny alfalfa seeds. They're smaller. I would say they're smaller than sesame seeds. So put them back in there. So I already have some alfalfa sprouts in the fridge that I just finished sprouting. Now this only takes a few days to get these going. It's one of the magical things about growing sprouts is it's quick. You don't have to wait for a plant to mature and fruit and give you some food. It sprouts, it's the food. So mung beans, usually about 2 tablespoons. So this is a wide mouth quart mason jar. Or jar, as I like to say on a regular day. Yeah, magic mason jar. Anyway, it's a quart and this is a tablespoon. So I'm going to put in a good 2 tablespoons. Is that what I usually do? I don't know, it doesn't look like much. Maybe I'll do it. Maybe I'll do an extra one. Okay. Now, when I use the mason jar, the thing you have to do with the mason jar is have a screen top for it. I use Mason Top's Bean Screen. It is specifically made to use on a wide mouth mason jar by a company called Mason Tops. They make tops for fermenting vegetables in your mason jars, and they make these bean screens. And they're very, very handy. They take all the guesswork out, and they tell you exactly how to do your sprouts. So, that's the cool thing is, and this is what they look like. So, it's got a little gasket in here, and it's all plastic with a little rubber gasket, and it's got this little hole, but it's not really a hole, it's still a screen. And these are little feet, believe it or not. So, I have my seeds in here, and they barely cover the bottom of this jar. I'm going to put my mason top on. Now, if you don't have a mason top, you could use cheesecloth and put it over the top, just like a single layer cheesecloth or some kind of screen, and screw on a canning ring over it. It's gonna kind of be tight, tricky. You could put it on with a rubber band if the screwing on the mason ring doesn't work. But that's what you're going to have to do, something to drain water out of this. So the next step is to put some water in here, and you're going to cover the beans. I usually put it about to here. There's lines on here, but I don't use the lines. You can if you want. But so that all the beans, the mung beans, are wet. So I'm going to put, you can see me over here. So this hole is where you put the water in. Give them a good swirling around, and then you're going to let them sit overnight like that, or for at least 4 to 6 hours. It's easy to do overnight because you get up in the morning, you drain them, and then you're going to let them do some extra draining. Then twice a day, all you have to do is put a little bit of water in there, shake them around, and then drain them again and let them sit. So I'm going to show you real quick before I put the water back in here how all that happens. So, okay, tick, 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 tick. It's tomorrow morning. Here's my mung beans that have been soaking overnight, and they're all looking a little bit softer. And I come over to the sink, and all I got to do is pour them out. Let them drain off. And I can take either a regular towel or a paper towel. And so as not to waste paper towels, I'll use the one I just used because this is only temporary. So you have your feet here. Turn the jar over, let it stand upside down. Let it set like that for 10 or 15 minutes. Tick, 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 tick. 10 or 15 minutes gone by, all you have to do is lay the jar down. You're going to make sure they're all off the cap. Roll them around a little bit and they will stick to the sides. And you're going to lay it on there on your countertop in a warm but not hot place with light but not direct light. So I have a kitchen window here. My kitchen gets a little bit of natural light. I get natural light coming in through the dining room and the slider windows. And you just leave them there. And then when I get home from work, I'm going to rinse them again. In the evening, do the same whole process, drain them, let them sit for a few, like 5 minutes after that, just so they're not sitting in a puddle of water, and then swirl them around the jar again and let it lay down. By day 2, you're going to see sprouts. By day 4 or 5, you're going to harvest sprouts. When I do the mung beans, they have a lot of shell to them. And I don't like all that excess shell in the food. So what I do is I dump them out of the jar into a bowl of water, like a mixing bowl. Something like this. And then I just, while they're floating around in the air, you'll see all the little extra shells floating off. Now, there's nothing wrong with the shells. I just don't like them. If you want to put them in your stir fry, they're going to sort of disappear. You're not going to notice them. But if I like my sprouts like raw on a salad or a sandwich sometimes, and I don't want all them. I don't know why. What's wrong with me? I just don't. So I don't mind it on the alfalfa sprouts for some reason because they're so tiny. But the mung bean sprouts, I'm just not a fan of that casing. So it's kind of like popcorn seeds, you know. So anyway, I put them in the bowl of water. I swish them around. The little shells come floating to the surface. I sort of skim them off, swish them around again, skim them off so that most of them are out. And then I will drain the bowl, line it with a paper towel, or you can even use a clean flour sack towel, and put my sprouts in there and just put them in the fridge. Put a little plastic covering over them so no other stuff falls on them. And there you go. And I will show you, I don't have to do so much work with my alfalfa sprouts. Here's my jar of alfalfa sprouts that once I knew they were done growing, I just stuck them in the fridge. And I ate some yesterday. That was when I stuck them in the fridge. I had my first little taste, but look at that was 2 tablespoons of alfalfa seeds filled this jar with sprouts. And you can see the little green leaves in there, the top leaves, and the little shells. And those are a little bit crispy, but nothing bad. And yesterday I had myself a lovely tomato sandwich with sprouts on it. Didn't even need to put like cheese on it. I just put some tomato and mayo. And there I went. So I'm trying to get back into the a more healthy routine with eating and get away from the junk. The holidays are over. I got no excuse anymore. Not saying the stress is over, but we're working on getting getting a weight down before bathing suit season comes, because we have a pool here and I still want to fit in the bathing suit I bought last year. Maybe even lose enough to get in the one from the year before. So that's about it for sprouting sprouts, and I hope you will try it out. Again, I got my mason tops online on Amazon. I'm going to refill these with water before I forget. And make sure they're all in the water. Okay, so yeah, I got my mason tops online at Amazon. You can go on masontops.com and get them too. And they have a lot of other fun products. And I got my sprouting seeds from Amazon, but I think in the organic section of the supermarket or health food stores, you can always find seeds for stuff to sprout as well. I'm pretty sure chia, at least. And I have amaranth seeds that I got to grow, so I'm going to try maybe later this summer if I harvest my amaranth and dry it out and see what happens with that. So I wish you the best. I'd say don't forget to get your hands dirty, because it's always more fun to play dirty. And soon we will be really getting our hands dirty, starting seeds. And the angel, I am still painting it, but when it's done, I will show you how it came out. I have a finished one. I'm going to put a picture on the video if you're wondering about that. And that's all I have to say today. Thanks a lot for watching. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe, and check out my Facebook page, which is Painted Garden Farms Redone and Homespun. Or is it Homespun and Redone? I don't know. Check it out. You'll find it. And we'll see you soon. Have a great day. Take care.